We're back at it. Hi, y'all. Welcome. It's Thursday, February 10th, and you're in the Rally Community Call. We have a jam-packed agenda today, so we are going to just dive right in. I'll be keeping time too, so I'm gonna hold everyone to it. Slido link here. I can drop the Slido link into the chat as well. Feel free to drop questions. Goal is for us to leave about 10 minutes at the end for Q&A, but drop those Slido questions in. If we don't get to them during the call today, we can always follow up afterwards too. Quick look at the agenda for the day. We'll dive straight into updates from the team. A quick update on stats from me, content and education as well, Creator Advisory Council Awards from Claire, and then a look at the dev ecosystem funding update from Jason and Joel, plus the CDC. Just looking at the quick snapshot of the last 2 weeks metrics, 74.6 million rally total in the sidechain, 790K bridged in, 2.9 bridged out, 478 in buys versus 312 in converts, and then 3.8 million in rally rewards paid out. Looking at our creator growth month over month, we continue to track up, and again, it keeps growing, keeps getting better. And then rally in the sidechain, this number is stellar to see over the last 3 months, seeing us up 20% from where we were in December. Let's see, there we go. A quick look at our leaderboard as well. This is something new that we've been sharing, but always exciting to see kind of who's on the top. And it's really great to see number of wallets and fastest growing, both held by Portugal Demand, who did a big activation last week, focused on driving new signups. So great to see that in the results here as well. As well, in terms of fastest growing, I know J-Rock had done an airdrop and some other activations with the coin recently too. Just really cool to see the work that people are doing show up on the leaderboards. Quick look at 2 pieces of content for me, and when I hand off to Claire, I'll drop links to these in the chat. We featured an interview with Nicolina Moon about her approach to gaming in the space. And then we launched our first piece on Mirror. Mirror is a really great Web3 native platform, and our own Chris Fortier published an op-ed piece there that I'd encourage all of you to check out. Again, I'll drop a link in the chat shortly. Coming up next, we'll be doing a post on the blog announcing the CAC Awards. We'll also feature a piece from Brett Kinsella talking about using NFTs as a bridge to Ethereum NFTs. He did a really cool thing where he gated an ETH mint, a mainnet mint, using Rally NFTs. Some cool composability there. And then we've got a great interview with Omar from Temple that's ready to go live next week as well. Some exciting stuff coming there. Excited to have, I think, do we have Alex on the call as well? Let's see. I might need to unmute you. Oh, there you are, Alex.
Yes, we're here.
Hey, hi both. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome.
Great.
Excited to have Alex and Mason, both from Social Token Management here. I think these are familiar faces to a lot of you, but we wanted to highlight the work that these two have been doing with their organization on supporting creators as they launch and grow their economy, and wanted to just spend a couple minutes with you, tossing some questions back and forth. And Alex or Mason, I was worried that was another of what you mentioned earlier.
No, sorry. If I don't let the dog out, she's gonna bark. So
okay, all good.
Getting it out of the way.
All good. So I mean, just to kick it off, can you talk a little bit about how you both got involved in supporting creators as they launch and grow their economies?
Yeah. So I've really been with Rally since almost day one. I started out by supporting my wife in launch.
Oh, we lost your audio. Let's see.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, got you. Yep.
Sorry. Okay. So I started out pretty early on in the Rally platform, and I started out with my wife, who is Ali of Ali Coin. It keeps saying the host has muted me.
Oh, that's me. I thought I'm trying to mute Mason because he's right next to me. So I didn't realize I'm muting him for the whole call.
Got it.
Oh.
Yes.
My apologies.
No,
Okay.
no worries.
Got it. All right. That was a little awkward. All right. I'll just start over. Started out early on the Rally platform with my wife, who's Ali of AliCoin, and also with one of her colleagues, Nicolina Moon, who you just showed the feature of. We had known Nicolina for a while, and I was really excited to support both of them in social tokens. You know, social tokens is something I'd been thinking about for years, going back to about 2017. And the world wasn't ready for social tokens back then. But I noticed when Rally was launching their platform that there was a lot of really unique stuff happening, between adding liquidity to these tokens and all of the different use cases, plus the fact that it was really low fees. And I was excited to see, what we could turn these social tokens into. So I thought, I know creators are really busy with their lives. I thought maybe I could lend some of my expertise in, working with crypto for, it was about 4 years at the time, to these social tokens and see what kind of value I could add.
That's awesome. And Alex, how did you get connected?
Yeah, well, as you can maybe tell from that little fiasco there, I live with Mason and Ali. And so I was actually with Mason when he first launched AliCoin on the ETH mainnet, and Mason's the one who introduced me to crypto back in 2016, 2017. So very naturally, when Ali launched on, the Rally platform, I was introduced to the space that, AliCoin had been looking for since like when he first launched it. So since fall of 2020, I've been really like a power user on the Rally side in terms of supporting creators and just learning by being a fan and a community member first. So for example, like I've won Ultra Miami tickets from being part of Wax Motif's community because he does awesome giveaways there. And then actually tomorrow night, Mason and I are going to be going and seeing a high school basketball game with LeBron James's son, because his high school coach, has a coin called LBL. So really, I learned about Rally and sort of what I saw as best practices from just being like a user and a supporter. And then I take that with the creators that we work with to say like, hey, these are sort of, best practices and things to do.
Oh, I love that. I love that you're like fully diving into to like to the project, both in the building side and the supporting side. It's really great. It's something that I was thinking about in advance of this call. Is just that like a lot of our creators on the platform are just that, like they're creators. They're not tokenomics wizards. They're not coders. They're not educators necessarily. Like, what outside support do you two kind of think that new creators could really benefit from, or like where do you see the most opportunity to support creators in their journey? Oh, I have to unmute you again. Let's see.
Sorry, you flipped the order of the questions on us, and we were trying to do an alternating thing, so now we're a little thrown off. Sorry, could you just repeat the question real quick?
Totally. So, our creators are kind of typically just that. They're creators, not tokenomics wizards. They're not coders. They're not educators. Like, what do you see as the biggest assists that new creators need as they join the platform?
Yeah, I mean, we noticed the same thing with creators. Like tokenomics is not something that they've paid a lot of attention to, especially some of the more mathematical stuff like the token bonding curves and the Rally reward system and how that works with some of like the quadratic functions. And I've even gone through a lot of calls with creators where I've explained that some of this stuff exists, and then immediately they kind of feel overwhelmed by the amount of information that they have to learn in order to even maybe communicate it with their audience. And so that's where we've really tried to step in and simplify a lot of that stuff and show them through working examples and other creators, what they can expect to get from the rewards, what they can expect from the price volatility with the different token bonding curves, and showing them really through example. And that's how I found, at least the creators that I work with tend to learn the best. There a lot of them are video game players. They like just jumping into the games and playing them. And then they start to learn some of those background mechanics through that real life experience. And so we've been able to demonstrate that with a lot of creators and take away a lot of the burden of learning about the tokenomics behind an economy and just start to focus on what are the use cases, how do I engage with my audience, and how does this add value to who I am as a brand?
It's really awesome.
Yeah, and to be fairly blunt, like I believe very strongly that creators with teams around them are gonna see the most success on the Rally platform, just because of like what we've seen with creators in the past in terms of if you want to have like a really big YouTube channel or be a big creator, usually you have teams around you in terms of full-time editors, full-time producers, and other pieces so that you're able to really focus on creating as a creator. And that's why we started STM in the first place. And we really feel that there isn't a good replacement for experience in Web3 in terms of living and using the Web3 tooling through all of its iterations and progressions. So, you know, creators need to really lean on experts to fill in those knowledge gaps. And we've seen creator coins are great mechanisms to expand a creator's bandwidth, because we've seen, you know, not only through Ali Coin's community, Nicolina's community as well, is actually hiring, you know, deeply engaged community members and elevating them to either administrative positions as Discord moderators or other, you know, positions like editors, tournament admins, to allow the creator to have additional bandwidth to then go focus on the next endeavor that's going to drive more, you know, engagement and things like that.
That's really stellar. And, you know, I think what's interesting about what you just said is that ability to pull kind of up from your community to help build that community. Like you're actually creating circular economies rather than top-down economies, which I think is really a lot of the goal and where we see a lot of success here. So talk a little bit about how you work with creators. Kind of what's the process? How do you go from 0 to 1 with somebody who you start working with?
Yeah, I'll take that one first, and I'll speak really about my experience and my role in social token management on STM's creator success team. So I work along with a couple other individuals. Libby, I think, is in the call, and Michael might be in here also. But we work with a creator throughout their entire rally lifecycle, from pre-launch planning all the way through post-launch execution. And we've developed an internal curriculum to help educate creators on not only the rally resources that are afforded to them, but also the best practices we've seen from other creators in implementing and actually using those resources. So we work with the creator to develop a coin roadmap that includes promotions, engagement campaigns, utility implementation with both short-term and long-term milestones and goals. And then it's our job to equip the creator with all the tooling necessary to execute on that roadmap. And then if necessary, build out that tooling with our internal dev team to fill in the gaps where, you know, it might be.
And then I'm probably closer to like the CEO role of STM at this point. You know, originally I was doing a lot more stuff like what Alex and the rest of the creator success team was doing, especially in my role with Ali. But over time, we're trying to sort of scale that because we're realizing there's a lot of creators that are going to need support like this. And so now I've taken more of the role of, you know, training people like Alex and others to do what I was doing. And a lot of them are working with Alex and learning through real experience with creators. But I'm also working now with developers. So I have a bit of a computer science background, so I can kind of blend these two knowledge pools of working with creators and working with developers to start to really build out some of these use cases. So when a creator has something very specific they'd like to do, like Duel Links Meta really wanted 4-person tournaments daily with their coin. And so we've built out a bot that can basically handle a lot of that for them, including like the payouts of the coins and taking the registrations of the people. And so I'm able to work with these developers and also talk with the creators to figure out where the gaps are and what they want to create using their coin, and then actually find a path forward to develop and build it out for them.
Super cool. Both, thanks a ton for this, and thanks for the time. Thank you also for all the work that you do to help build for the community. I'm excited also too, we've got a blog post from UCATS coming up shortly too, so more on kind of success tips and how to build. Feel free to drop contact info or your link into the chat, and thanks a bunch.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, I'll hand it over to the awesome Claire to talk through the Creator Advisory Council Awards.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the community call today. I'm really excited to announce our January Innovative Use Award winners. So as Brian alluded to, we will be re-announcing our Creator Advisory Council Awards in the coming weeks, so keep your eyes peeled for that on our blog. The first is 7,000 Rally to Jaffe with Crypto Sunday and his Never Forget Your First NFTs. So we're really excited to announce that. And then up next, we have 2,500 Rally to Ekis Excelencia for incorporating his token into his Mirror fundraiser, which is really cool if you check that out. 1,000 rally to the Playcoin, Dave Young and his Local Locals NFTs, Loco Locals. And also we'll check out the VCA coin, 2,500 rally to connecting his Discord to a gated website for exclusive content. And lastly, we have 2,000 rally going to Backpack for a successful $100 sponsorship campaign. So congratulations to everyone for our Innovative Use Award winners for January. Quick plug as well to nominate as many creators as you'd like for our Innovative Use Awards for February as well. We're still looking for applicants or submissions for those. You don't have to be a creator. You don't have to be the creator. You can just go ahead and recommend anyone that you see doing something cool. So please go ahead and file for those. Anyway, I'll hand it back to you, Brian.
Thanks, Claire. Awesome. And I'll kick it over to the CDC team and Jason or Joel to talk about the dev ecosystem updates.
Yeah, hey everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is doing well. You know, on the dev ecosystem side of things, our goal is really to get as many cool products, integrations, tools, solutions for the creators to enable as much coin utility as possible. We do that in a few different ways, one of which is the CDC and their grant application process. And the second one is bounties, which get posted on Gitcoin. And so we have a couple updates. Most of these are, well, there's kind of split between the CDC and the Rally staff funding them. Ones in green are funded by Rally, the ones in black by the CDC. So right now we are in the process with our bounties of two different solutions getting built. One is a polling widget, fully embeddable on creators' websites. It allows your fans who hold your token or a specific NFT to vote on whatever you put up. Second, really aimed at a lot of our business focused or creators who use Slack, much like how we have token gated Discord, looking to have the same functionality for Slack. On the grant side of things, we have grants out right now. Temple Fans is building gating for WordPress sites, as well as for Shopify stores. We also have the Got My team building gated live streaming. And then Richard is building a centralized dashboard for creators' APIs. And then lastly, we have a grant out. I'm sorry, a couple more. We've got grant out for a Twitter bot. We know that Twitter is a very important platform for a lot of creators, and where a lot of crypto Twitter a lot of crypto conversation happens on Twitter. So definitely looking to build functionality there, as well as YouTube. So that's, and then we have a creator coin checkout, which should be done, looks like end of month.
I love it. Cool. Thanks a ton for the update. Lots of great stuff there.
We are also joined today by folks within our development community who are looking to get feedback or show off some of the products that they're either building or thinking about building. We bring these folks in really as an opportunity to get them in front of the creators on the call. You know, really looking to source feedback. Creators, if you're on the call and something is of interest, please message the person in the chat, get in touch. We really want to kind of create what we internally call the cocktail mixer here. So if something is appealing, definitely shout. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Mason Hall. Mason joins us from Andreessen Horowitz, or colloquially known as A16, to talk about some of the cool stuff that he's working on.
Hey everybody, great to meet you guys. I am Mason. It's also great to see another Mason on the call. Fun fact, I am a multi-sig holder in what we're calling Mason DAO. If you'd like to join, Mason Geyser. It's 4 people right now because there aren't that many Masons, but we have like a shared treasury. We might do something with it, not sure. But I'll put some links in the chat to connect with me later. For everyone, I'm coming from A16Z, where I'm on the investment team. And before that, I was a software engineer and a gamer, and I've always loved coding and crypto. And I have an idea that I'd like to share with everyone that could be really interesting to build and integrate with Rally. And this was kind of inspired by Ludwig, who actually was a very early Rally member, and his transition from Twitch over to YouTube. And one challenge that he faced when he joined YouTube live streaming versus Twitch is that YouTube doesn't really have any of the features that Twitch had, yet all of his viewers were basically following him over to YouTube. And so they didn't have like TTV emotes, they don't have like good polling systems, channel points, things like that. And so what Ludwig and his team did was they built this extension called mogul.tv. And that extension basically changes some of the CSS on the screen for viewers to make it like to add all of these features that YouTube is lacking. And what is really interesting about this extension is that you can now bring channel points and even a token kind of into the extension versus living on YouTube or on Twitch. And the best part about the extension, I think, is that it just adds value to all the viewers and to the streamer using it. And so the idea is to build an extension like this, generalized, not just for Ludwig, but for all creators on YouTube who are interested in live streaming, that adds this functionality for them. So everyone watching them has a better experience. And in addition to that, it could be a gateway to incorporate Rally into that creator's live streaming experience. And so when you have an extension that is just useful in general, and I think a lot of YouTube live streamers would benefit from, you get this really great kind of adoption metric, which is just that it just adds value, and there's no point not to use it. It's really a great experience for the viewers, but it also acts as a really easy way to onboard creators into the Rally ecosystem. And you can do cool things with Rally tokens and creator coins, or polling systems, channel points based on how long they've been watching the stream, or taking in points from Twitch, and then bringing them into the Rally ecosystem, which actually, like, they don't allow that conversion between Twitch points onto YouTube points. And so the extension could be one way to bring those features into YouTube. And so I'm looking for people who are interested in maybe working with me to help build this out. And it could be a really great way to integrate Rally into the YouTube kind of creator ecosystem. Yeah, I think it's an opportunity that I'm really interested in, and I'll add some ways to connect with me afterwards. But I think it just could be a really popular YouTube extension generally, and then it's really great for Rally, if to get their protocol and the benefits of Rally to the masses through something that already adds value in other ways. So if you're interested in this, please reach out. I'll send some links in the Zoom chat afterwards.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks a ton for sharing, Mason.
Thank you.
Cool. And next we are joined by Javi Nieves, who's the CTO of Hitsbook. Javi, if you are, I haven't seen you, but if you are here, can you raise your hand?
Yes, I'm here.
There you go. Okay. Do you need to share your screen or anything, or do you want to just kind of talk us through what you're working on?
Yes, I would like to share my screen.
Okay. Brian, do you? I think you've got to stop sharing.
I have to make Javi a co-host as well. Only co-hosts can share.
Hang tight.
Okay, you're all set, Javi.
That's it. Now I can. Okay, can you see me?
Yep.
Great. So hello everyone. My name is Javier. I'm from Spain, and I'm the CTO of Hitsbook. I am a developer and a crypto fan. And well, before sharing our idea, let me tell you very briefly who we are. We are basically a tech company, and we have developed a platform that promotes active participation between end users and brands, media, or celebrities. We've been working on it for more than 6 years now with some great clients. And as we work with content creators and wanted to explore how to mix our technology with cryptocurrencies, we came up with Rally, and we really love the project. And we've been thinking, how can we help grow your community by helping your creators? And we think we have found a good match. And that is what I want to show you in order to get your feedback, for you to confirm it that really makes sense for you. This is just an example of what creators will be able to do, and I think it's a good way to explain how this kind of campaign could work. But possibilities are much more. For instance, let's imagine that Chantal Martin wants to promote her awesome work and let their fans have a chance to get one of her NFTs. We have created a live mockup. Let me present it to you. So quickly. That's it. This will be the welcome page containing the campaign's claim and the call to action. Okay, our idea is this to act also as a paywall. So in order to enter the site, users must register and perform a small payment using the creator's coin. Let's say $2 or something cheap, whatever the creators decide. So they will perform a login and the first payment. That's it. Once it is done, he will be able to enter the site and perform the vote. This is the campaign itself, and it will be fully responsive, of course, and mobile first. And its look and feel, images, fonts, colors will be fully customizable by the creators. This will be this up here is a hero slider that may contain a claim or instruction on how to participate. Then comes a list with racing fan activity, and finally some are pieces that can be bought. Each vote gives the user a chance to win the prize. So the more they vote, more chances to win. The first vote is already paid, so the user just has to choose which artwork likes him most. Once he does this, we invite him to perform more votes. Exactly. There is also a list showing the most active users, but without disclosing the amount of votes they have done to not discourage anyone. Once the campaign is ended, the creator will be able to choose the winner randomly among all performed votes. So let me back to the presentation. Let's summarize the benefits for the creator. They will get most of the collection they perform, and a small part will be able to pay the campaign itself. And with this campaign, the creator will increase the number of users trading with their coin. So eventually this will increase its value. This is also, we think, a good way to promote their work and also to increase the interaction and engagement with their fan community. They will also know better their fans' preferences about their work. And last but not least, they will enrich their streams by providing them with some widgets. Recent votes, most active users, or most vote work. But these are just examples. We'll think about them later. But they will be able to use these widgets within their streams. Well, that's pretty much it. Let me know if there's any doubt, and if you find that this idea could make sense for your community, or share your thoughts with me, please. And thank you for your opportunity to showcase my idea.
Amazing. Thanks a ton for sharing. Feel free to also drop links to yourself or to your project in the chat so folks can follow up.
I'll do that.
Awesome. And I'm excited now to hand the mic over to Stephanie Pereira, who's Rally's VP of Creator Success, to talk us through our creator success and community strategy for 2022.
Hey, everyone. You all know me by now, I hope. If not, I'll say hi to you. Hi. So following Bremner's presentation from like a month ago now of the vision statement from Rally and what that means for us as a company, where we're headed, how we're organizing our work and our goals and our commitment to work in partnership with you as a community. And then Chris's subsequent strategy presentation that he shared out, I wanted to follow up with an update of what this means from a creator success and community point of view. This is a super high level zoomed out presentation. You'll hear more from Brian and Claire and from our new VP of marketing, Deanna Dong, who joined recently and is still getting her feet under her. But I think it'll be helpful. And as always, we have Slido running, so please feel free to drop your questions in. So next slide. Okay, so I've over the past while, I've heard from you all like, where are the next 5,000 creators? We were told that we would get 5K by December 2021. I've also heard a lot in Discord and a lot in these calls. What are we going to do to make people successful? It's great to talk about like all the process and ops, but what are we really going to do to win? I have also heard from some of you that creators don't need more utility. They need to be easier to do the work that they're already doing, and they need more ways to capture the value of the work that they're already doing. So I've tried to focus my presentation to you today on that, and I hope I'm answering those questions. If I'm not, again, use the Slido and like come at me hard. I'm here for you. Okay, next slide. So before I, look at this, I didn't realize it was animated. Before I dive into the creator success side of this, I did want to also catch you up a little bit on the outbound strategy led by Nick Millman's creator partnerships team. Hence me not knowing the slide was animated. This is Nick's, and it's lovely. So back in the spring 2021 period, for those of you who are around, you know that we talked a lot about this approach that would focus on tier 1A creators, i.e. the Rihannas of the world. And then as Nick came on board and his team came on board, we've learned a lot and our perspective has evolved quite a bit. So next slide. So an outcome of their work over the course of Q3 and into Q4, now in Q1 of 22, is that Nick and co have come up with this idea of a community affinity spectrum, where at one end of it, we've got the Web3 community where as we know, we're all in it together, we're building together, where it's just this sort of land of abundance, super exciting, endless horizon. And then on the other end is a more traditional celebrity oriented experience that's more about an audience, right? And then somewhere in between, we've got this idea of a following and fans. Next slide. So now that we've got this sort of idea of like, all right, if this is the spectrum of what online communities look like or what fans and communities look like, we identified that we might have a couple different strategies for how do we bring more creators onto the platform from an outbound point of view. So as far as Nick and his team are concerned, they're now focused on a two-part strategy. Part one is to work in partnership with marketing, the marketing team, the creator success team, to drive awareness of Rally and to ensure a soft landing when these communities arrive. So on this, I feel like, can you click one more time? I feel like there's some boxes missed. There they are. I was like, this isn't clear. Go back, sorry, go back, back. Yeah, there, stop there. Okay, so strategy one is focusing on this left side of the spectrum here. These folks who we know are leaned in, ready to go. They'll expend the effort if we invite them in. And that is largely, as I said, going to be driven by marketing and creator success efforts. And then next slide. Nick and his team will then continue to dig deeper on, as far as strategy 2 goes, on continuing to pursue these non-web native fan communities and work with them to create strategies that are less focused on utilities and more on onboarding users through tactics like airdrops. So you're going to see a lot from us around this, a lot of airdrops around big names, things that will really, we think, drive a lot of growth. And then we think that Nick and his team feel that their sweet spot is really in this following zone, hence it's the biggest box. And so that's where you're going to see a lot of creators join the platform from his team. And then next slide. I know you all always ask about metrics. I wanted to make sure I speak to that. Nick will join this call in a few months to share out some of the results of this work that they're doing. We will also be publishing case studies. We've already started to, for those of you paying attention to the blog. Can someone let, one of the co-hosts let someone from the waiting room in? I'm supposed to be on waiting room duty. So keep an eye out for the blog as we publish mini case studies on these various tactics that we're doing, and then also Nick will come back. But I think the important like TLDR here with this update on this approach is that in Q3, we were very heavily focused on launches, assuming that every creator was ready to make this leap into Web3 and that the community would be educated and everyone was stoked about it. And then beginning in Q4, we recognize that more work needs to be done to help educate and onboard people. And so we slowed our roll a little bit. We stepped back and we thought about, okay, how do we focus on successful launches, not just launches? So again, those of you super tuned in, I've noticed, you noticed there was a bunch of launches in Q3 and then they slowed down in Q4, but then we've had a lot of exciting things happen in Q4 and now the beginning of Q1. And so now we are very focused on onboarding communities to help them see the benefits of Web3 as we do it. So it's this like two-part approach. And the metric, the key metric that we're looking at here is around new wallets. So again, you'll hear from Nick more concrete numbers soon. Okay, so next slide, please. Again, one more time, I jumped my own title slide. Okay, so hi, again, this is me, Stephanie Pereira. I'm representing the Creator Success Team. A bunch of us are on this call today. Brian, who's leading the call, Claire, who you've already heard from. We also recently had Alex Hoogan, who joined us from UTA a few months back. I guess more than a few months now. She recently moved from Nick's team over to the Creator Success Team, along with the incredible Chris Russell. And then we've got Joel Packer, who spoke on this call, Jason Stein, who's with us now for a while and been with us for a bit. And then I'm hiring a new director of community. So this is generally what the structure of the Creator Success Team looks like. We work, as you see with these white ovals, we work in creative collaboration with pretty much the whole company. Next slide. Okay, there we go. So our mission is to launch and grow successful token-based communities, guiding the Rally team as we progressively move toward community ownership. We foster a rich learning community, providing resources and tools to enable abundant utility and interoperability. Next slide. So just to break that down for you a little bit, what do we mean? I'm like someone I struggle with mission statements. I'm always like, what do you mean when you say that? So in practice, this means that we are here to foster vibrant learning communities at scale. So when we talk about creator success, we're really interested in a scaled approach that focuses on ecosystem services, education, peer-to-peer learning, et cetera. We are also developing a tiered engagement model that will be predicated on lean in and growth potential. So we're not like top of the tier is not necessarily A1A celebs, to use our previous language, but rather people who we think are here to be super successful along with their communities. And then we're also here to identify, prioritize, and resolve creator and community feedback. You'll notice that we spend a lot of time in the Discord and creator support, on calls with you all, trying to understand how we can continuously build and improve and make Rally an incredible place to work. Next slide. Our mission also around this piece of progressive path to community ownership. The truth is we're still figuring out what that means. Rally is a centralized company that is part of the decentralized Rally network. This is an interesting thing. We're figuring this out. We're charting this path with you. I know there's been a lot of chatter about understanding where centralization ends and where decentralization begins, how our ethos as a company are Web3 and are 100% values aligned with the Web3 community ownership mantra. So for now, that means for us that we're building in conversation with you all. We've worked with this community to elect councils who are empowered with budgets and resources and very like extensive access to myself and the rest of the executive team. And then we are aligned with their goals as part of our goals. And then from here, we're going to work with you to define the path forward. Next slide. So final piece of the mission is abundant utility and interoperability. This means, again, educational resources and activities that I think need to be co-created in partnership with you. You guys know what is up. You know how to win. As we just heard from Mason and Alex and guest speaker Mason and Javi, who joined us all the way from Spain to tell us about what he's building. We know that the vision for how to be amazing is going to come from our community. Claire is leading the charge on figuring out all the ways that we can lean into a peer-to-peer learning model. And then, of course, as you've heard from Joel and everyone else, we're very focused on building out an ecosystem of apps and platform partnerships, and also our developer community. Next slide. So I do this just very quickly before I share with you the key work streams. I do want to highlight some key learnings that went into figuring out these work streams. So number one is creators learn and grow in conversation with each other. Every single person that has joined the Rally project in the past year plus, we all show up, whether you're a staff, a creator, a holder, whoever you are, a developer, and you look around and you say, what is going on here? How do I figure this out? What are people doing that's working? It's really hard to see what success looks like on Rally. So really important that we figure out how to unlock that visually for people so that people can more easily learn from each other by seeing what everyone else is up to. The other huge thing here, and this is very much echoed in Chris's product strategy, is that our definition of creator must expand not only in terms of who, but how. Lately, we've been working a lot on figuring out how to unlock and open up our onboarding funnel, make it easier to apply, to be approved, and to launch a creator coin. And then also think about what else does creator mean on Rally? Does it mean that you have to launch your entire token like ecosystem, or can it just be that you're an NFT creator? We need to lower the bar for entry. Number three, our communities must be able to do business wherever they live on the web. This is super important. It's one of the most common questions I get, which is, do you expect me to bring my entire community over to the centralized space and start all over again? No, absolutely not. My vision and the vision of this company is that we recognize that you need the tools, services, and essentially the piping to be able to, again, make the work that you're already doing much easier and capture more of the value of that work. And then number four, I'm obsessed with this one. I'm like all about the trust bucket right now. I want to build trust with you all. And I think that I know that the Rally team, we're all here to work on that with you. Next slide. Okay, so key work streams, very much aligned with our mission. Surprise, surprise. Launch communities, engage communities, grow communities, and provide the resources. Next slide. All right, so some projects under launch communities include continue to improve the onboarding experience by reducing friction and improving the overall experience, i.e. adding in education, making sure people don't feel lost, that they feel supported along the way. We want to create templatized launches and pilot lower barriers for entry. I think a lot of people get to Rally, they have a million ideas, the sky's the limit, but really what can I do today and tomorrow with this new token community that I've created? And then we're going to focus heavily on creating more peer-to-peer learning experiences for building, launching, and growing programs. Worth noting, Claire has already begun to roll a couple of these out with some regular info sessions we now offer and a mentorship program that you can sign up for. Next slide. Under the grow communities category, this is around, I like to think of this as like our lab. This is where we can lean in and partner with our already launched creators and think about how do we create repeatable strategic frameworks that will help inform other creators. So this whole creators learn by doing and learn in partnership with each other. Part of this is we need to power those experiments so that those experiments can be captured and reflected out to the community. And then I also want to continue to bring in more agencies, dev shops, and other resources for people to build at scale. Next slide. Under engaged communities, we need to hire a new director of community. The job description is live on rally.io and on LinkedIn. Please help us find someone. I want to continue, as I said, to work to build trust through our communications, through our policies, and our partnership with you. And then also to continue to run and improve upon programming such as this gathering. Next slide. And finally, provide the resources. So I presented this to our Rally staff the other day, and I realized this really needed to be 2 slides. So one, content and education. So this means content sprints. We know we have a dearth of content. Brian is doing an incredible job. Like seriously, if you've not looked at our blog recently or our new mirror site or any of the other things that we do where we share content, it's like, it's amazing. I'm so excited by all the stuff we're making, and we're going to make a lot more. We're going to work harder on making emails that are high quality and accessible and create big lift for you. And then also thinking a lot about events and what our event plan looks like into the next year. Next slide and last slide, I promise. So on the provide the resources side, we also, of course, have our incredible apps and services ecosystem. So we're very focused now that we have Rob Christian on board as our Dev Ecosystem PM. And now that Joel's back from having his baby, we're very focused on investing and growing our dev ecosystem. We're codifying how we distribute funding, how we market the fact that funding exists, and then how we make sure when those apps launch that people know about them. And then we're going to continue to onboard and grow the ecosystem overall. And that's it from me, everybody.
That was awesome. Thanks a ton for sharing. A reminder that we do have the Slido link live. I'll drop it in here again for anyone who might want a quick link to click. And with that, we're going to hop over to Q&A.
Brian, if you stop sharing, I'll share my my Slido screen.
Sure will. All right. Starting at the top here, when could we hope to see rewards v3? It's been a while since those discussions kicked off.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I'll take that question. Thank you for asking this question. We are working really hard on it. If you guys saw Bremner's presentation, I think a month ago, this is listed as one of our H1 priorities. We aren't releasing a timeline yet because we're still looking at the entire scope of everything and working on a comms plan, but we will loop you guys in with a lot of pre-warning and conversation ahead of time. So definitely working on this. I just don't have a good answer right now in terms of timeline, but we will be communicating that.
Love it. Thanks, Juan. Mason and Alex, do you do Discord, Telegram, and social media management for creators?
Yeah, I'll take this one really quick. Short answer, yes. You might have seen Just Michael around in Rally Discords, etc. He works for STM full time as what I call our Discord wizard. So we actually do full on architecture, setup, and administration of wherever your community lives, whether that be Discord, Telegram, newsletter. We work with the creator to understand what's appropriate for their audience, and then yes, we do let them know, how do we, link our rally coin in our Twitter or in our other socials? How do we incorporate coin logo, language, symbols, and things like that to integrate it into your already existing, social media bandwidth, etc. And so, yes, we do that. And then ultimately, we also try to source from within the community, like we've mentioned, to elevate people and train them up into some of these roles. So then it's their community doing it in the long run versus us, doing it forever, sort of.
I love that. Exit to community management. That's a move. Thanks a ton. Up next from Whitney, is there a way to set up an automated distribution of rally rewards to other coins in a portfolio? Each week they manually distribute rewards to over 40 different coins.
I can jump in here in the absence of product leadership on the call. There is currently no way, but we have actually, Whitney, it's a great question. And we've recently revived the Rally Canny board. I'm not sure if you've seen it or been there. If not, I'll drop the link into the chat. But we've asked that people, when you have great ideas, that's a great place to put them. Our product team spends time in there, our staff spends time in there, and that's where we're prioritizing requests from the community.
Amazing. Thank you. Any update on bridging out from New York?
I can take this too, unless
All right. Thanks, Stephanie.
Want to? No, got it. So, hey, David Berkowitz. As I said to you on email, PTI has submitted the documentation and it's sitting with New York State at this time. So we're all just crossing our fingers, knocking on all the wood. I have no wood anywhere, so I'll knock in the air for now. But we feel you, and you'll be the first person I email when the news comes out.
Awesome, thanks. A question, will current coins be able to migrate to Solana if or when that becomes possible? Bremner.
Yeah, I can take this. So right now we're in the process of defining the scope for the Solana-based app. And it is within the overarching scope of the Solana-based app that at some point creator coins that are on the sidechain would be able to migrate over to the Solana-based application. TBD though on what the timeline is for that, because we are currently trying to figure out what do we stand up in terms of infrastructure on Solana, and then try and figure out how the migration path would, what it would look like and what it would entail. But as Chris shared in his product strategy a couple of weeks ago, that is definitely within the overarching strategy for this aspect of the product. One, we want creators to be able to launch on Solana or launch on the RLY Rally sidechain, or over time be able to launch on other L1s and L2s, and then to be able to have migration capabilities between each of those environments. One thing that Chris did share when he was talking about the infrastructure and the way that coins could migrate across environments is that it isn't likely that you could migrate back from mainnet into sidechain. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, but we are definitely contemplating the ability to migrate out from sidechain into these mainnet environments. But I'll let Chris speak more to that once we have the official infrastructure and architecture and an understanding of what that migration process would look like and what the timeline would be there.
Thanks, Bremner. And then last one, how long will the 100 Rally new user sign-up bonus last? Is there an end date to that growth initiative?
Yeah, so we've been talking about this at the RLY network leadership team level. And one thing that we realized is that when this network growth challenge was rolled out, it was rolled out in late November into December, and then now is just starting to pick up legs. Rolling out a growth challenge when you're in the middle of Thanksgiving and the holidays and Q1 planning, probably not the best time to roll out a network growth challenge. So as a result, we're going to keep this growth challenge running for an extended period of time. There's no official end date, but the Network Association did commit to having this new user bonus signup extended past the date that was initially contemplated, which was at the end of February. So it will go past the end of February, and really the call to action for all of us is if we can drive significant growth and we're able to demonstrate that some of these different types of programs are unlocking new user signups, fantastic. And the budget is there. And I think the Network Association would love to use up the budget that they've allocated. So it's less about time frame and more about leveraging the budget that was put out for this network growth challenge.
Stellar. And a fast follow-up that might be answerable, might not, which is how much of that new sign-up bonus has been used up so far?
I don't know if I can answer that because I don't have visibility into what Unite.io is doing and what Superlayer.io is doing, and then what some of the other applications on the network are doing. From our perspective, Rally.io has used relatively small amounts of that budget, so there's still a significant amount of the budget available. You can see there's actually transparent reporting that each of the apps is performing on that forum post, and we can drop that forum post into the chat. But each of the applications is reporting on the progress against that program on the forum post. So I'll drop that in the chat in a second.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks a ton, Bremner, and thanks Stephanie and all of the other Rally team for the answers to the questions, and thanks to the whole crew here for submitting those great questions and your participation. I think that takes us to the end of this wonderful hour at time. So full of great information. Any parting thoughts? Any parting questions? Cool. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Really appreciate all of the time and support. Catch you soon.